significant, I don't think, but neat. So 200 cubits of white linen material, five cubits high when it's hung. The white linen wall would provide a barrier. It was made so that no one could approach the tabernacle. No one could approach God, in other words, just any which way. The wall was, as I mentioned, 5 cubits tall. And whereas a person would be able to see at least the outer cover of the tabernacle, no one could really see inside without coming inside. And the only way to come inside was through the gate. There was a gate provided for that. We should not miss the significance of the color that was chosen for this wall. It was white, and we've already discussed how white represents purity or righteousness. In the case of the 280 cubits of white linen that made up the wall of the court, it represents the righteousness of God. So here we have this 280 cubit by 5 cubit wall surrounded by hundreds and thousands of tents. And what were the tents made of? They were made of goat's hair, right? The black goat's hair. Middle East goats are black. So here we have this great white wall of God's righteousness right smack in the middle of a sea of black tents. What a picture of God's righteousness in the midst of sinful man. The gate which completed the enclosure was actually a screen that was woven of blue and purple and scarlet yarn and fine linen thread. The gate hung from 4 bronze pillars. And once again, we see a perfect picture of Jesus in the gate, much as he was pictured for us in the 4 Gospels. First of all, the fact that it was a gate speaks of Jesus. It was not only a way, it was the only way in. Jesus said in John 14:16, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me. In John chapter 10, verse 1, Jesus uses an analogy that those he was speaking to would understand. He was talking about a sheepfold, and the Middle Eastern sheepfold was generally a sort of brush corral that had only one narrow entrance. And often the shepherd would lay his own body across that opening to keep the sheep, in the sheepfold. Since that was the only way in, the sheep would be safe in there. The only way a thief or a robber would be able to get to the sheep would be to try and climb over this brush wall. In John 10, verse 1, Jesus says, most assuredly I say to you that he who does not enter the sheepfold by the door, but climbs up some other way, the same as a thief and a robber. So when people try to tell you that all roads lead to God, they're trying to rob you of a very beautiful experience, and that is that Jesus is the only way, the only truth, the only life. And no man actually comes to the Father but by him. Satan tries to steal the sheep all the time from the shepherd by sending false teachers to them, to tell them, like I said, all roads lead to God, all roads lead to heaven, but Jesus says that Satan is a thief and a robber, in addition to being a liar. The truth's not in him. And John goes on to say in chapter 10 of John, verses 6 through 10, Jesus used this illustration, but they did not understand the things which he spoke to them. Then Jesus said to them again, most assuredly I say to you, I am the door of the sheep. All who ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go in and out and find pasture. The thief does not come except to steal and to kill and to destroy. I have come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. So we see Jesus in the gate of the courtyard. The blue yarn woven into the screen reminds us of his divinity. The purple yarn reminds us of his royalty, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. The scarlet yarn reminds us of his humanity, of his great sacrifice on the cross for all mankind, the only one who could do it. And the fine linen thread reminds us of his purity, of his righteousness, of his sinlessness, the one who knew no sin, who became sin for us. And the fact that there was only one gate speaks of him being the way, the truth, and the life. The gate hung upon 4 bronze pillars. There were 4 Gospels written by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and each of these writers had a different vocation before they came to know Jesus, and each of them saw him from a little different perspective. Matthew was a politician, and he saw Jesus from the royal perspective. He would. He spoke of Jesus in terms of his kingdom. Mark represented Jesus as a servant, suffering even to the point of death. Luke was a physician, so he saw kind of the humanity perspective, saw him as the Son of Man, referred to him as the sinless one, as the perfect and righteous one. And John saw him from a spiritual side. And Jesus said of John chapter 16, verse 7 through 12, "Nevertheless, I tell you the truth, it is to your advantage that I go away. For if I do not go away, the Helper will not come to you. But if I depart, I will send him to you. And when he has come, he will convict the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment. Of sin, because they do not believe in me. Of righteousness, because I go to my Father and you see me no more. Of judgment, because the ruler of this world is judged." Then he says, "I still have many things to say to you, but you cannot bear them now." And then in John 14, verses 16 through 18, Jesus said, "And I will pray the Father, and he will give you another helper, that he may abide with you forever. The Spirit of truth, in whom the world cannot receive, because it neither sees him nor knows him, but you know him, for he dwells in you and dwells with you and will be in you. I will not leave you orphans. I will come to you." And so the Jesus of Matthew, the Jesus of Mark, the Jesus of Luke, and the Jesus of John was everything to them that they needed. And the Jesus of the entire Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament, is everything that we need today. He's our all in all and our all in all. And that's all I have for tonight, except for the size of the gate. Did it say the size of the gate? I don't think I wrote down the size of the gate. I can't remember. I think it would be the difference. There's going to be 30. It's going to be a 20 cubit gap there, and it's going to have to cover that.
On each side.
Yeah.
What are you talking about the position of the gate, other than that it's in the center of the
Just that it's